Lori, the art archaeologist. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my channel. So today's dig number 2 is jelly printing with distress oxides. And I wanted to try something with this, so I went ahead and used my fine liner resist pin masking fluid, and I went ahead and did a couple little bookmarks. I've got this little tree, and I've got these little flowers, and then I've got this aspen tree here. At least that was the plan, an aspen tree. So I want to show you how to do that first. We're just going to take this little bookmark here and make a tree. I keep a little piece of metal in my fine liner just to keep it working well. Let me bring you in. Okay, so all I do is just start with the trunk of the tree. And I just take it about that far off. I like the way it looks for it to be a little off center. And if you have some blobs of masking fluid, you can just come in without pushing on your bottle and kind of smooth those out a little bit, but it does make them spread out more. So now that I've got kind of a blob up here, well, it's not really a blob, but there's some extra. I'm going to use that to go ahead and pull my first branch. And you know, I don't like to overthink stuff. I'm going to make that a little thicker. You want to try to keep your branches thinner, of course, than your trunk. And sometimes I forget little things like that when I'm doing this because I'm so intent on drawing. And then sometimes you get that thicker fluid coming out, so that can be an issue. And what I'm going to do is just talk you through this part, and then I think my dogs are really having a heyday with all the birds outside this morning. So I think to spare you, I'm going to talk this part and then play some music for the other part, because you can easily see how to do this without me blah 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 and all the whole video. Oh, this is fun. I love to make bookmarks, but I don't make them very often just because they're time consuming, but they're so fun to do. Okay, so we'll just keep that for our simple little tree. And then I wanted to, I'm not sure if this is going to come out as a nighttime tree or a stormy tree, but I'm going to go ahead and put some dots all over this. And they're either going to serve as snow or stars. We'll just have to see how it all comes out in the end. I'm not sure how it's going to come out. And you get a lot of the same size from you can see how all these are big up here. I'm going to try to come in and do some little tiny ones. Smaller. You can go bigger, but you can't really go smaller. So you're going to want to try to vary as you go. Vary your size. You could always come in and go and make a big star too. So, but these are a little bigger than I wanted, so I'm just trying to throw in some littler over here. I love masking fluid. I think it really opens up a whole new world of possibilities. And I got my little masking fluid in the watercolor section at Hobby Lobby. I know most people, I was on Patty Tolley's live stream last night and everybody was talking about all the great deals they're getting online. And I know these days most people love to do all their shopping online, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So I'm hoping I can speed this video up just a little bit to keep it shorter. I really do want my videos to be shorter, and it's going to happen one way or another. but I've been having trouble with my software, so I hope I don't have any problems with that. So now you're going to want to set this aside to dry for, I like to let these dry for 15-20 minutes at least, okay? So I'll set that aside, get everything together here, and then start some music in a couple minutes. Okay, here's my jelly plate. I had to really hit it with some packing tape this morning because this requires a little bit more of a cleaner plate. So I took the time to go ahead and do that. I'm going to buy a couple more lights today in my quest for better lighting. So thank you for bearing with me. I am going to get it figured out. I definitely, you know, when I really need something to be right, I won't give up until I get it right. So thank you for bearing with me. And I'm having a real cloudy day today, so I'm kind of dealing with the challenge of that. Get my lights in here a little better. Okay. Anyway, onward. Let's go ahead and go onward. So these are the colors I have picked for the big tree. And what I'm trying to do here is make a sky and a landscape. So I'm going to go ahead and play some music, and you can watch me step by step, and then you'll know how to do it. Let's get started. Okay, so I wanted to do one last little thing to this before I let it dry completely, and that's just add a few drops of water. It's probably best to just put it in my hand and spatter it on. So this has turned out for me to be a really fun way to use your distress oxides on your jelly plate. Now this is a tool I bought in the watercolor section at Guyry's. It's a store I have here in Colorado, and it's a masking fluid remover. You can use a terry cloth towel, terry cloth washcloth. I would just say don't use your fingers because you'll really be in pain later on if you do. But let's see how this came out. I was, when I first had this idea, I've never seen anybody do this, and it's probably been done, I would imagine. But I was laying in bed last night thinking, that jelly plate is going to pull that masking fluid right off of the page. And I am shocked and happily surprised to see that that was not the case at all. This jelly plate didn't pull any of it, which really surprised me because, I don't know, you really do have to work to get it off. So maybe being that surprised really, I didn't need to be that surprised. But really pleasantly, wow, I mean, amazing, right? So you can do this. This opens up a whole new world of opportunity. And I have used masking fluid with acrylic paints in the past, and it comes off. And it works really well too. So you can do this with your acrylics. You can do this. I've never tried acrylics and masking fluid on the jelly plate, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. I've used it with acrylics. It's definitely a bigger challenge to get the masking tape, this masking fluid off when you're using acrylic paints, for sure. It's more work. But so you can do this with your watercolors on your jelly plate. You can do it with your distress inks, distress oxides, distress sprays, probably your Lindy's sprays, of course. Any of this stuff will work on your jelly plate with your masking fluid. So here's our cute little scene with our pretty tree. Now my idea is to grab a round brush. Be right back. Okay, I've got this little round. It's actually a number 6. It's not that little. And then I wanted to take I just got some pumice stone. Pumice stone is one of Robin's favorite colors. And I can see why. It's a gorgeous kind of a grayish style color. I should have been more prepared. Okay. And it's really beautiful. Here it is. I just got my first one. So I'm going to put a little bit of it on the corner of my jelly plate. Throw a little bit of water in here. And I want to be careful. I want to have a napkin handy. And I just want to kind of hit my tree here and there with this pumice stone. My idea was to shadow it. This pumice stone is not as gray as right there. That looks a little bit more gray. I just kind of want to hit it in there, here and there. And of course you can leave it white. I just want to shade it just a tiny bit. I didn't want the whole thing to have it on there. But you get the idea. So you can come in here with some more colors. You can come in with watercolor, all different kinds of stuff. Okay, and then you can make some cool little marks real quick in your tree here. And I just like to draw in a little bit of character marks. And it doesn't take much, just a little here and a little there. I like to kind of accent the branches a little bit where they bend and twist. And you can just go through your whole little thing and make these really fun marks. And then it really very quickly turns this into an aspen tree. I have a lot of aspen trees where I live, so that's what I see. You can just kind of float through here. The black is pretty strong. I wish I had a brown pen. I need to buy some other colors. You just want to throw in some little lines here and there, just like so. And this goes pretty fast. This is such a fun rainy day project. It's really cloudy and rainy today, and I hope that you guys could see clearly everything I was doing. My monitor's looking a little shadowed. I'm back in my old spot again, so to alleviate that, but I'm still seeing shadows. Oops, I missed. Either that's pumice stone or I missed a branch. Okay. That pumice stone color looks very similar to the color of the masking fluid. So less is more. I kind of did too many stars on the other little tree, and we'll do the bookmarks real quick too, just for fun. But you get the idea here of how you can really transform this and make this little tree come to life with just a little bit of pen work. Now, if you want to work much bigger, you can do all of this little work that I'm doing here. You can do this with a paintbrush. But the smaller you get, the more challenging it becomes to be able to do that. Couple more lines up top here. I love these bubbles up here. I just love Distress Oxides. They're one of my absolute favorite art supplies, and I haven't picked them up in such a long time. And you know, I do watch a lot of Robin videos, and I've learned a lot from her, and I've learned some very cool tricks from the other gals on the design team. This is not a design team thing, but I love to watch other artists on YouTube, and I'm always, you know, I teach you guys and show you guys stuff, but I just love to get in there and really learn new things all the time. So here's our beautiful little aspen tree, Distress Oxide aspen tree, and a whole new way of being able to paint. So let's go ahead and move on to this. Now what I'm gonna do real quick is, here's these two. And you know, I really thought that that spruce, where is it? Iced spruce color, when I did the black on this one, that ice spruce vanished. And then I did, and the purple vanished a lot too. And then I went over top with the ice spruce, and wow, it really, really ended up showing up with this black soot and wilted violet. So what I'm going to do is remove all the masking fluid. One thing I'm really bummed about with this is less could have been a lot more with the stars or the snow or whatever this is. I went way too uniform down here. So guard against that. Really, less is more for that, I think. So let me get the fluid off and I'll be right back. So here's our little tree with the iced spruce, the black soot, and the wilted violet. I'm going to leave this little tree a silhouette. I think this would have come out much, much better with less, we'll say, snow, shall we? But it's really a cute way to make some quick artwork and fun artwork. Okay, now this one here, I love Distress Oxides for the simple fact that you can start light, go dark, come back to light, and have the light show up. Remember, I came over top with the fossilized amber at the very end, and look at all the beautiful detail that we got out of that last layer of fossilized amber. And all I want to do is just come in, and I don't even want to try to go over the white. I'm just adding to it is all I'm going to do. And then my idea was to kind of do a kind of a toll style where you come in, and I might not be saying that right, where you come in and you add some lines here, and then I want to add these lines and have them not line up with the white. I just kind of want to outline the white, throw in some black here and there. Just a really fun little style of painting, drawing, all of the above. Working and talking and working sometimes doesn't serve me all that well. I get my words wrong. I don't say what I mean. And I'm not alone in that, because I watch a lot of videos and I see a lot of people doing that. So it makes me feel a little bit better. Like, okay, I'm not totally losing it here. Good. Look at how fun just that little bit of black brings to this flower. And I mean, sky is the limit here with what you can do with these beautiful little Distress Oxides. And I just think it's fun on the jelly plate. I know you can use a non-stick mat. Why not do it in a bunch of different ways? So here's that one. Isn't that just so fun? Just that little bit of black and white really makes everything pop. Okay, let's do this last little flower here. So this is a great, great, great rainy day activity. If you've got little kids in the house, they could really, really go far with this little technique, and they can draw whatever they want. I would definitely help them with the masking fluid for sure, of course. But look at all the little, you can just pull out some detail. And if you have colored pens, which it's like I might be the only one here that doesn't. Sometimes I feel that way. But if you've got colored pens, wowee, baby, you can really do some really beautiful, beautiful pen work on stuff like this. And the nice thing about pens, and you know, my whole point of doing this, I ought to mention, right, is that the oxides are water activated, of course. They're just like watercolor in that regard. So the pen doesn't reactivate the oxides, so you can really have fun just drawing away and Zen-tangling or whatever your heart desires with this technique, and you're not going to reactivate your distress oxides. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, was because I thought, well, wouldn't this be a fun little Zen-tangle pen work project? So I like to lay in bed. I'm so active all the time. When I lay in bed at night, I'm either doing beadwork and making jewelry components, or I'm drawing stuff like this. So if you're like me and you can't sit still and you're always thinking about all the stuff you want to do, you could do a bunch of these Distress Oxide little bookmarks, or you could do little cards or whatever you wish, and then take this to bed with you and just do pen work to your heart's content. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for the Gelli Printing Excavation Dig number 2, Distress Oxides. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I invite you to, so that you can be notified. Hit the bell notification too, so that you can be notified to come on back for the rest of the digs, and for treasure hunting Tuesdays, and for the Robin McLennan Gelli Team monthly design projects. So I'm really glad you stopped by today, and I will see you soon.